Hey dudes, Khraze here, back into Ghost of Tsushima, and today we finally have some brand new details on the new multiplayer mode called Ghost of Tsushima Legends. It's actually way more epic than I initially anticipated, and we do have some information on some really exciting gameplay details, including some of the upcoming bosses, characters, the setting. We even have a first look at the gameplay UI and how the game actually looks when you actually go ahead and play it, and there's a whole bunch of other details that I do want to cover in this video. So as always, if you enjoyed this video at any point, a thumbs up on it would be super awesome, and let's jump right into it. Nonetheless, for those who don't really know what Legends is, this is basically a free update for Ghost of Tsushima that is kind of like a 4-player online co-op. It's going to release sometimes this fall, so any moment now, and it's basically going to be severely different than the base game, to the point that you have 4 different classes that you can choose from, and we will be fighting in a completely different style of setting, like way more mythical, way more mystical than anything, and this also extends to all of the enemies, characters and bosses that we will encounter in that player mode. So it's actually really exciting that now we have an art book that is bringing in a ton of brand new details on everything that is in Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So I'm gonna give a huge shout out to Sushi Squire over here on YouTube, because he actually got his hands on the brand new art book, and that one is the one that contains all of these brand new details. So if you want to go ahead and check out the full detail and the full extent of this art book, go ahead and check out his channel that I've linked in the description box down below. Now I will go about this because it actually looks really interesting. The Legends DLC chapter 3 is actually pretty freaking cool, and there is a brand new character that gets introduced with this brand new DLC or update, and he is called the Storyteller. So according to the art book, these explorations represent the Storyteller, who gives off a vibe of being all-seeing and all-knowing. The images on the left emphasize the idea that he's a traveler who gathers things throughout his adventures. He's joined by animals to show his connections to the nature, and he also has a mask that covers his face, transforming him as he weaves his stories. On the right, we see him as an exiled Buddhist monk. He reads and absorbs knowledge, keeping records of long-lost stories and carrying scrolls with him. His clothes are stained with ink from his writing, and he wears a scrap of clothes to cover his blind eye. It does seem that he is going to be a main kind of character to this online co-op. Maybe he's the one that actually starts everything, so through his stories we get to live them, and everything that we experience in the online is said through these stories from the traveler himself. And not just the stories themselves, it seems that the entire landscape of the game is going to be severely different than the base game, so the environments for Legends stand in stark contrast to those of the main game. Rather than capturing natural beauty and an authentic glimpse of feudal Japan, these landscapes have a more dreamlike quality. The designs seen here are meant to feel more mystical, with exaggerated features and a different color palette. Elements like the lanterns and the torii gates are inspired by Japanese imagery, and many of these areas are meant to feel like ancient Japanese woodblock prints brought to life. And actually we saw this in some of those trailers too. I mean, the last trailer that we got was actually really inspiring. We can even see some of these being recreated in the actual art book, especially the one with the portal over there and everything being red with probably what's blood over there. But it does seem like it's very interesting, like all of the mystical features, some of which already existed in the game, especially during certain fights, are now even more exaggerated and look even crazier and epic in this Legends multiplayer mode, which I might say it looks absolutely fantastic. These were some of the best moments that I got to experience in the game, and now they are even better in this Legends mode. And I will say that if any of these depictions are fully real, some of them look legit really scary, like this one right here with the torii gate in the background. But what's even more scary is that big face over there that kinda seems to be pointing towards some sort of boss. And I'm saying that because in the very next couple of pictures we get a first look at it. It's most likely going to be one of the bosses that we get to experience in the game. At first it might seem something more natural, like maybe just a lady with a mask, but then we can see its mask being broken, and in its final stage it's kinda like this abomination, kinda like a demon that reveals its form once you start cracking its armor. So what if in the online mode we get to fight with these bosses and they slowly start revealing themselves as we crack their armors, showing their true forms, which are way more different than we initially thought. And this definitely reminds me of Sekiro and even Dark Souls, but in a very good kind of way, and something that I wasn't expecting from a game like this. Of course, we also saw one of these demons in the trailer itself, and it actually looked really freaking impressive. Like many of these images, they look cool, but once you see it in full action, it's actually even better than I initially anticipated. Like one of these Onis right here, like these demons with the mask on, looks really freaking cool, and honestly I cannot wait to see what types of abilities they might have in game. Of course, there's many others in there, like there's many other types of enemies that we will encounter, and it seems that our regular foes, like the regular other samurai that you'll be fighting with, and even the Mongols, are now gone, and what replaces them are these very crazy looking types of enemies. But speaking of all crazy stuff, let's also take a look at the UI and the game itself. So here are some of the first images that we have of how the game actually looks when you get to play it. So here is the intro screen with the legends. You have the 4 characters over there sitting. Of course, we have the Ronin, the Samurai, the Archer. They all look really freaking cool, and of course these are the different classes, but once you get in it, this is how the UI looks like. So instead of the play the game, now you have the play online, and you also have the character, the challenges, news option, and exit. And the way this looks, it seems that we are going to have to unlock these characters. So by the looks of it, we might start with the Samurai, then unlock the next one like the Archer or the Ronin, and then move on to the next one, and so on until all 4 of them are unlocked. Or that, or maybe in this case, this user didn't get a chance to actually play with the other ones. In any case, this is how it's going to look in game, and it actually looks really freaking spectacular. So you have the option to play now with a number of teammates. We can see a full party formed over here, and it seems that all these characters have different kinds of levels at the very least. Either that or the power level is what's being indicated next to the name. So we see like big numbers and small numbers. It could very well be that these are the power levels themselves. But we also have the options over there with the social, the news, and the options. And on the top right corner, we have a number of other types of, let's just say, currencies that is very likely we are going to use to unlock new kinds of stuff. And speaking of unlocking new kinds of stuff, it seems that unlocking armor sets is also going to be an option, since many of these seem to wear a similar style, though in the trailer we saw something completely different. Also, by the way, we have the name of one of the missions at the very least, and it seems to be called Twin Hearts, as you can see it over there before the party gets ready. So it actually looks really awesome. It seems that this co-op mode is actually going to be really freaking amazing, and I cannot wait to get it. Again, this is going to be absolutely free for everybody who already owns a copy of Ghost of Tsushima. And by the way, that's going to happen this very fall, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we get to see this update rolling with the launch of the new PlayStation 5. It would definitely be super awesome if that happened, maybe with an update that also gets it prepared for the PlayStation 5, since we do know that Ghost of Tsushima is compatible with the PlayStation 5, but there's also going to be an update to make it even better for the new generation of consoles. Nonetheless, this is it with all of the brand new details. Again, a huge shout out to the user who actually posted this. It all looks really freaking interesting, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. As always, let me know down below what is your opinion on all of this, and of course let me know down below if you have also platinumed the game by this point. In the meantime, it would be super awesome if you left a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and even activate that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.